I watch my son play computer games, and there's a ton with a lot of there's a lot of strategy involved, and he does love it. But I also see the addictive power and opportunity cost of him, maybe finding it more difficult to read, or not reading as much as I would like him to read, those sort of things, because it's just so alluring, right? And because it's so alluring, I think there's a danger of the kids having a monoculture in a very not very much variety, because they just
Well,
are going beelining to that, right?
can I try pushing back against this, Kat?
Yes, please.
Okay, if your same kid, your son,
My son, yes.
if he
Mm-hmm.
was as intensively into reading the great books as he is
Mm-hmm.
video gaming, what would your level of concern be?
0.
0. Why?
Because I've been brainwashed by the traditional system, and no, but also because these are great ideas, and I want him to ponder these things, right? I want him to have a great books education too.
If I could interject, so
Please.
I would have a similar concern, Blake. I would have a similar concern if my child became just what, I'm not sure the term, just
monomaniacal.
Yes, thank you. Great language. Yeah, I would be similarly concerned. It would be the same, if we can draw an analogy here, with a child who eats the same meal every day, right? Okay, as your parent, I'm going to insist that we explore, right? You don't have to have, food that you don't like, but we're going to continue to introduce other things into your diet because it's good for you. You may not want it, but I'm going to be the parent here. I'm going to insist that be done. It'd be the same thing for a kid that loves to play basketball all the time. All right, great. You've gotten exercise. We need to now explore other areas. So again, this is back to this freedom versus responsibility piece. And as the parent, our job is really to train the child for adulthood, and adulthood is not, monoculture, monofocus.
Well, let me push back against you, Matt, because
Please.
I think there are some adulthoods that you get rewards from being monomaniacal. I think Silicon Valley startup culture is an example of this. I think someone who gets very into programming and wants to become some sort of freelance programmer and wants to spend all their time doing that, they'll become an economically successful person in this world, and they'll be rewarded for this intense focus and intensity that they put into their work.
And good. We're mixing it up a little bit. Good. I was wanting this. So my pushback to that, though, Blake, is at some point they're not going to be in my home. And when they're not in my home, they can become as individually focused on anything they want to do. They can play basketball all day long, but when they run out of money, they can't come and ask me for help. Mm-hmm. Right. That's part of being an adult. And so I'm perfectly good with that when I am not paying their bills and supporting their lifestyle. So
yeah,
I think more than that. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's such a broad middle here, because I feel like I've known families that take your approach, Matt, and it totally works. And I know some families, some parents who said, like, we try to just like nudge our kid into like broadening their horizons a little bit, and it was a nightmare. It was just chaos. It was like crying and fights, and it's like, this kid just wanted to eat pasta with butter on it. And it's like, we tried everything, but they just want their damn buttered pasta. And so at some point, the parents say, we gave up, and we let the kid eat buttered pasta because we thought, what's going to happen for the next 5 years if they just eat pasta?
Sure.
And our lives have become so much simpler ever since that. So I'm just saying, I've heard stories from all across the spectrum, and it especially, again, as a non-parent, it feels difficult to make any strong generalizations here. So I agree with you, and I've also seen other stories